Love is never forgetting the one you love. We always forget the one we love because we only love ourselves. And then we scream and yell and say horrible things to the person we say we love, and we hurt them, and we threaten them, and we're jealous, and we're envious, and we want to get rid of them because we don't love them at all. We only love ourselves. We hate God. We scream at God. We question God because do we love God? No. We love ourselves. So how do we learn to love? Marina can tell us. How do you learn to play the piano? You go to someone who plays piano and they'll teach you. Or you get a piano and you bang it so no one can stand anymore and then you learn. But you've got to do something other than just yourself. So how do we learn to love? We learn to love by loving. If we let our passions control us, we end up with a feeble soul. A soul that's not able to do anything. If we let our passions control us, we end up with a diseased mind. If we let our passions control us, we have a weak heart and a weak will, and we can do nothing. So we have to start exercising our will for God, not for ourselves. We have to start cleaning our heart by stop loving ourselves and loving others, serving others. We have to start by thinking, reading, and studying holy things, not garbage. We have to start by strengthening our soul like we would our body with spiritual exercises, prayer, fasting, struggle, asceticism. Then you'll be able to make the trip across the country on a bicycle. Then you'll be able to live in a house that's in disarray because you love. But until you get a strong soul, a clean and undiseased intellect, until your heart is strong and pure and your will is for God, until then you will not be able to love. And you will continue your blindness. You will continue crazy behavior. You will continue settling for something other than love because you don't have a clue what it is. You'll settle for desire. You'll settle for pleasure. You'll settle for furtive relationships that don't last more than 10 seconds. And you'll be lonely, and you'll be empty, and you'll despair. And instead of saying, I am not doing it, I should say, there is no God. Or you say, there is no love. Nobody's honest. I can't trust anybody. Listen, the one who's not honest is you and me. The one that you can't trust is you and me. It's not God. No one is unfaithful to you but you. So you have to change. You have to do the things that are necessary to love. Our soul is drunk with our passions. If I put a bottle of vodka in front of every single one in this room, and we all started drinking, and there were 3 waiting for that after that, you couldn't think about a thing. You couldn't even move your tongue. You'd be drunk. And you know what happens when you're drunk? You can't function. Our soul can't function because we're drunk with the passions. And if you want your soul to be sober, if you want to live in sobriety, you have to stop drinking the passions. If you're an alcoholic, if you're a drug addict, you don't take drugs or alcohol if you want to be sober. Never do you touch it. You can't say, oh, I'm going to drink tonight and I'll be fine tomorrow. Forget it. It's no more. And so if you are drunk with the passions, your soul, it's no more passions if you want to be sober. Pull your pants up and behave yourself. That's reality. We're not stupid about other things. Well, how come we're so stupid about the soul? Because we don't care about it. We don't know what it is. But I'm trying to tell you what it is. You have to have the ability to see the difference between good and evil. But if you're drunk, you can't tell one from the other. If your life is filled with the passions, you can't see what's evil and you can't see what's good. You need faith. Not in yourself, but in God. You need to pray, which is being conscious of God's presence in your life. That's prayer. You've got to love. Love others, not yourself. Don't go looking for love. Give it back. God has already given it to you. You can love because I loved you first, he says. You need humility. I am a disaster waiting to happen. I am a wreck. I am useless and corrupt. Without God, without love, that's who I am. Anything that is good about me is not anything I've done, it's what God has given me. And all the destruction in my life is me. Let me refocus. Grace comes from God, not from us. And that grace will set you free. That grace will give you the strength to do all you need to do. Without me, you can do nothing, says God. But with me, everything is possible. That's grace. We don't ask for it because we hang on to the garbage. If you do that, if you have faith, if you pray, keep God in your consciousness, love, have humility, then you'll recover from your addictions. You will no longer be an alcoholic. You will no longer be a drug addict. You will no longer be a sex fiend. You'll no longer be a lunatic, vain and falling apart, but you'll be recovered. You'll be sober, and you'll be recovered. You will be healed. Your mind, your intellect will start to become whole again, and you will look for what's real, and then you'll be able to love. Until then, no. That's it, folks. Now it's up to you. What do you want to say? I know you want to leave. Don't you dare.
I don't want to leave.
Good girl.
I really don't want to, but
And stay where you are. You'll be fine. Tell them you were tied up and couldn't get out
they're a
of it.
Jewish family.
That's okay. Jews love God too. Don't you be silly. Tell them you had an encounter with God and you couldn't leave.
Take a cab.
Yeah, there you go. Anybody want to add, subtract?
Well, I was reading something today that has to do a lot with where are you talking about, and is the history of how all this that you are describing now happened the first time, and it's when the devil came to Eve and told her a lie, and she believed it, that the tree of
Life.
knowing of
Good and
no-
evil.
good and evil is good, and it was not true. And he told her it is good, and suddenly he looked at it and he saw something that was not true. That the tree was good. The tree was there, as your friend Stephen says, to separate the tree of life from the rest of paradise, because as he says, the paradise was like a church, like a temple. So the tree of
Good and
knowledge,
evil.
it was like a sign, and this is why the Lord told them don't
Eat.
don't eat, and suddenly he came and he told her that you will not die. The Lord told her, if you eat from this tree, you will die. And the devil told her, no, eat, you will not die. And suddenly he looked at it, she looked at it, and she saw something that was not there, that was alive. That the tree is good. And she took, and she ate, and she brought to her husband, and he did the same. And
and then he blamed her for the rest of time that she made him do it.
But this is the thing. This is the thing that when you hear radio or TV, if you put aside the contents of they are telling you all the time the same. You can. It's not bad. It's the same voice.
Yeah.
It's the same voice of
I don't
God.
need TV to hear that, I can tell you.
Now, what happened is this that we got confused. So, as you say, right?
Yeah.
We see things that doesn't exist. We see pleasure where it doesn't have to. We see love where there is not love. We see pleasure where there is not pleasure. Everything is upside down. And the problem is how to put this in place again, because we get used to those lies, right?
Right.
And then when you are doing something and you don't feel that you are doing something wrong because you don't have more the ability.
You've lost the sensitivity.
Exactly.
Yes.
And how to get this sensibility back? How to step, I'm sorry, on a piece of
Poop.
and feel the smell of it, and don't think that you are walking on a wonderful, carpet. And this is what we think. We are think all the time.
On that when she's leaving.
And this is the
Love you,
problem.
Father, Father.
This is the problem that because we believed all those lies, all those voices since we are child, we practice this. We think it's nice what we are doing. We are killing ourselves, but I lost this sensibility.
Yeah, and we're not even sophisticated enough to know that we're deceived. It is such a good job. I just think it's normal. We call sin normal.
Exactly.
I hear, this is not for you, Jorge, I hear men say, but I got to do that, I'm a man. I mean, I got to have a woman, I'm a man. And you go, what are you, a dog, for heaven's sake? You got to love somebody. But that's how we are. And we have learned that the fallen side of man is normal, and the holy side of man is unnatural. I bet you if you went to any church in New York City, or whether it's Orthodox or otherwise, and you said to them, are you holy? They'd say, no, are you crazy? I'm not holy. What do you mean holy? Only God's holy. I'm not holy. That's what you hear from most people. And yet, we are called to be one with God. You can't be one with something you're not part of. If I go and communicate with the devil, I become sinful, unholy, evil. Well, if I communicate with God, I become holy. And I can't communicate with God if I'm sinful. So I've got to change it to become. And we say, well, I can't change it because this is who I am. You are not evil. You are not sinful. You do sinful things and you do evil things, but you're called by God to be holy. When we come in the church and we hear liturgy, the priest says, holy things are for the holy. When you take Holy Communion, you become one with the one who is all holy. And then it says, do not take it unworthily, because it will burn you. It won't save you, it'll burn you. It's like I meet somebody and I fall in love with her, but I'm not faithful. And I tell her, I love you, honey, you're the only one. That's burned me to the core, because it will come back. Because I took love, and instead of giving love back, I lied to have the benefits of love without loving. Holy things are for the holy. Doesn't mean we're perfect. It means we come and recognize our sinfulness and say, God, forgive me. And as broken as I am, I come for you to make me whole. But recognize your sinfulness and ask for forgiveness and ask to be made whole. That is worthily receiving communion. But to come and say, I have a right to be here, you know, look out. Somebody told me I should bottle my talks. They're like an anesthesia. No one would have to worry about surgery. They're all like,
But how come this guy there, Thomas, was after so many years, he devoted with people to love. He knew how to love. He gave up for the
love turned to lust, lust turned to greed, greed turned to ambition, ambition turned to the world, and he got snatched up.
But he's extraordinary. He spent so much.
He was extraordinary before he turned to God. He swam 40 laps every morning. But when he lost sight that it wasn't about him or about anybody else, it was about him with God, with others, then all the old junk came back and swallowed him up. How many times have we made a commitment to something and started and then got confident and fell on our behind, and then we were worse than we were before we started? I had a friend, Ethel, God rest her soul, and Ethel had the battle of the waistline all of her life. From the time she was in junior high, she was like, you know, an inflatable tire. One day she was enormous, the next day she was skinny, and then the next week she was big, and the next day she said, yeah, what are you doing? She'd go for months and months and be so svelte and elegant, and then I'm, you know? And you say, how could you do that? Because she didn't stick with it. Because she thought, I'm okay now. You're never okay. Never. You are never free of sinning unless you work at it every day. You will never automatically love unless you work at it every day. You will never have a marriage or a relationship unless you work at it every day. You cannot pray today and not pray tomorrow and be okay the next day. Doesn't happen. You pray every day. I went to church last month. I think that's okay. No. All the time. Your child is in intensive care, about to die, and you say, I have a hair appointment, I've got to go. No, you don't. You said, the heck with the hair appointment. I have to be at work today. Your son's going to die within the next 5 minutes. Well, tell him Mama loves it. No, you do not. You say to the guy at work, screw you. I'm being with my son. Right? Sure. I don't have time to go to church on Sunday. I'm tired. Huh? I can't go to church this week. We're going on vacation. What? You forgot. You forgot. And guess what? Your soul will die, and you'll become numb, and you'll become insensitive, and you'll be consumed by your passions in the world, and you'll wonder, how come? You know, I ate last week. Why do I have to eat today? You try that one. You try that. I haven't eaten in 3 weeks, but I'm fine. Huh? No, you are not. Stop lying to yourself. Wake up. Get a little vodka.
Yeah.
I need a shot on that one, he says. Okay. All right. Everybody all right? We're still here? Nobody's sunk yet? Okay, good. Good. All right, let's, is that it? Should we call out the
A lot of truth
EMS?
for a Sunday afternoon.
How about the EMS? Do we need a resuscitation or something here?
Father, we are like in serious, system processing. When you pay the so we need to.
Now, the reason we have this today, this topic, is somebody said to me, Father, you're always telling us what's wrong with us, but you don't give any solutions how to do it.
I know who is. I know her.
Today,
I know how to tell you that.
today, you got the problem and the solution. Right? Now next week, we will pass out sunglasses. Because we're all going to be so bright and holy we can't look at each other. But next weekend, I can't do the discussion because I'm here today, and tomorrow, Tuesday, and then I will, if I go up and turn around on Friday, I've only seen the monks 2 days, and I have to spend time with that family too. So I'll be here Saturday and Sunday, but I won't be here on Friday next weekend. You're never here, Father. You're always gone. That's what I get from both ends. You don't come. Why don't you come? And then you're never in the monastery. You're always gone with those people. And then I get Russian. When are you coming? I never see you. And my families, we never see you. I know you belong to those people. What about us? And I, okay.
So Tuesday morning, 5:45.
Correct. We begin the hours at 5:45 on Tuesday, and then 6 o'clock liturgy begins.
Are you moving?
Is there
No,
a,
because
is there a vigil
I
on
have a
Monday?
doctor's appointment with an eye
Okay.
surgeon on Monday at 9 o'clock. So if I'm late, he said he won't take me.
So there's no vigil tomorrow.
No.
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 Thank
All right, y'all.
Father.
Oh, you're
That
sneaking
was
out, are you?
good.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, all right.
I love my father.
I bet you are.
Last quarter.
Шесть.
I've got a one of those things on your leg. What do you call them? Those monitors.
Oh, yeah.
So if you go anywhere but home, it's gonna beep.
Oh, don't worry.
Your leg will blow off. All right. Anybody need dessert, coffee, whatever? Please help yourselves.
No, Father, you already gave us enough.
You're welcome, my dear.
Давай, чего попьем?
Say hi to the kids and say hello.
Сейчас попьем.
Happy for me.